ahead and start. People will be trickling in as we progress through our info session, but I do want to go ahead and just go ahead and kick us off. So thank you for all of you who have joined. We want to welcome you to tonight's virtual scholarship info session. Again, thank you so much for sharing your evening with us. My name is Luis Sandoval, and I'm the director of the Pascal Center for Scholarship Communities here at Mines. So tonight we're joined by our colleagues from the Office of Admissions, the Women in Science, Engineering, and Mathematics program, as well as some of our amazing scholars from several of our scholarship communities. So as we approach the deadlines for many of our scholarship opportunities here at Mines, we want to make sure that students interested in applying to our scholarships get a chance to learn more about each of our scholarships, the expectations that come from possibly being a scholar in one of these communities, as well as the opportunity to get to know the programs that currently serve scholars at Mines. So our format this evening is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in previous sessions. So we won't be featuring breakout rooms for each of our scholarship communities, and instead we're going to ask our scholars to serve as panelists to be able to answer some of your questions. So the purpose of this is to not only allow for all of you to learn more about these scholarship communities, as opposed to just focusing on maybe one or two, given the time that we allot for you all to join breakout rooms. But instead, this will allow us to showcase, for example, how despite being in various communities, a lot of our scholars have many of the shared experiences of just being a Mines student, stuff that kind of exists outside of their scholarship communities. So this is an opportunity for you to ask about the scholarships and their experience as Mines students. So as you come up with questions, please feel free to type your questions into the chat. Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the protocol, or is there a different protocol for that?
Yes, so it is the question and answer feature. So
Thank you.
it's a little bit different. You, as opposed to a meeting, you won't have access to the chat, but the Q&A, and we'll either respond there or respond live. Yeah.
Yeah, so please feel free to enter your questions there. If for whatever reason your question does not get answered tonight, we do encourage you to reach out to our programs, whether it's admissions, WISEM, or if you want to reach out to the Pascal Center directly, you can email us as well. We will put our email addresses on the chat for you all to be able to see that. We can also follow up with you after this event with more information. So at this point, I do want to welcome our colleague, Gemma Cervantes, who is our current Scholars Program Coordinator in the Office of Admissions, to talk about the application process, important timelines, as well as next steps for our incoming OR-Diggers. So turn it over to Gemma.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here tonight. Again, my name is Gemma Cervantes. I'm a scholarship program coordinator for the Office of Admissions. So I work both the scholarship side and the admissions side. But on this Zoom, I also have Jen Gagney, who's the director of admissions, and then Louisa Dooley, who's the associate director of admissions. So, Jerry, if you want to change it to the next slide, that'd be great. Cool. So, as most of you have heard, congratulations again on being admitted to Mine. We're really excited. You're one step closer to being an OR-Digger already, and we're super excited just to have your time here tonight. So you, around your time that you got accepted around December, you probably gotten in a couple follow-up emails from us about a lot of things going on, but you've also probably gotten an email on how to activate your mymines.edu account. This would have been about 2 days after you heard about your admissions decision. If you have not activated this account or that password has been inactivated, please reach out to admissions or your admissions counselor, and we'll go ahead and help you go get that activation link. Just because you're activating this account doesn't mean you're committed to Mines. This just kind of gets you those materials and those checklist items to get you closer to that enrollment process already. Next slide. So most of you have heard about the General Scholarship Application app, and that's kind of what we're here for and what we're trying to complete before that deadline, March 1st. So this is where that will be accessed, the General Scholarship Application app that is due March 1st. Make sure you get that in because that does get the ball rolling and getting access to the rest of the 250 scholarship application apps that we do have available, because some deadlines are different than the March 1st deadline, such as the Harvey's is due, I want to say January 20 something, around this time. Jerry, you can confirm that. So if you want to, yeah. So just make sure to get that going already if you are looking for more financial aid opportunities through the scholarship application apps. Next slide. But this is not just for that hub exactly. This is also to get your whole enrollment process done. So this is where your enrollment decision form will be located as well. Because in order to get access to the General Scholarship Application app, you do need to get that completed so we can get that ball rolling for you as well. And this is kind of your way of starting that commitment to us if we are one of your top choices for you, which we're super excited if we are. Next slide, please. So that checklist item will have a lot more enrollment checklist items, such as the housing application and many, many more things, like we might need your final high school transcripts once you're done graduating, and that will be all located there. So these are important dates. So the first thing to remember is that every first of the month, something will be due. The General Scholarship Application app is due March 1st. The housing application app opens April 1st. So make sure to be honest on their surveys. Are you really a dirty person or are you really a clean person? We want to make sure you're paired up with the right people, and you want to make sure that the student themselves are completing the survey, because that's how you will have the best experience possible here at Minds. And you're not sure exactly where you want to go yet, it's okay, because you have till May 1st National Decision Day to make that commitment to come here to Minds. Next slide, please. Well, again, I know this time is very confusing, very difficult, because you're probably hearing acceptance from a lot of universities around. And again, congratulations on being accepted and getting one step closer to your goal. We're super excited. Again, friendly reminder, every first of the month, something is due. And also take this time to thank your parents or anybody around you who helped you get to this point. But as well, enjoy this time. Enjoy being a high school senior year. You're going to be a college freshman soon, so it's okay to wait. Enjoy your prom. And if you're looking for your dress and suit, have fun. And we look forward to seeing you in the fall. And I pass it back to Luis.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emma. So at this time, we'd now like to welcome our colleague, Kelly Olson, who's Assistant Director of the Women in Science, Engineering, and Mathematics program, to share information about the Vanguard and Caldwell scholarships. Kelly?
Thanks, Luis. Well, let me be the second person tonight to congratulate you all on your acceptance to Minds. As Luis mentioned, I'm Kelly Olson, and I have worked in the WISEM program for nearly 6 years at this point. WISEM was first established nearly 30 years ago to help make progress on the recruitment and retention of women students and employees who are pursuing a STEM career. So our office is focused on extending professional development, leadership opportunities, assisting with K-12 outreach, all designed to help students and employees have out of class or out of office experience that is complementary to their education or professional skill sets. So tonight I have the honor of speaking on the Vanguard and Caldwell scholars, and also to have two scholars serving on the panel, Emma Young and Sila Martinez. Emma is a Vanguard scholar and Sila is a Caldwell scholar. So they'll be happy to field some of your questions, but would love to just give you a general overview on the next slide. All right, so you may have come across both of these scholarships in your pursuit of the scholarships available at Minds. I'll first start with the Florence Caldwell Achievement Scholarship. This is for Colorado residents who are committed to the ideals of Florence Caldwell, who is the first woman graduate here at Mines, and you have a desire to support girls and women's achievements in STEM. So there's a strong emphasis in this program on giving back to the community and giving back to the local community through K-12 outreach. So the requirements of this scholarship is to complete the scholarship application and then to go through virtual interviews for our finalists who are selected. The deadline is approaching soon. It's February 1st. And there are 3 scholarships that fall under the Caldwell, McDermott, and Davis scholarships. All 3 of these provide tuition for 4 years. Some of them will also break it down to covering room and board or books and fees. So I encourage you to hop on the website for kind of those granular details, but a great scholarship covering your 4 years of tuition here on campus. Annually, we see about 150 students apply to this scholarship, and 3 Colorado residents are selected annually. For the Vanguard Scholars Program, this is for resident and non-resident students. Usually we split that demographic breakdown in half, so 50% Colorado and 50% out-of-state residents. Again, with an interest in the leadership and community service. So this scholars community has 1 or 2 service projects that kind of carry them through their 4 years on campus that they can participate in different capacities. Right now we have a mentorship program underway, in addition to a greenhouse garden project with a local elementary school here in Golden. This scholarship is due in early March, and the award for our Colorado students is $5,000 for all 4 years, and our non-Colorado residents $7,500 for your award. It also includes participation in a unique section of CSM 101, which is a freshman seminar class, and it's taught by a prominent female faculty or staff member on campus who can help you navigate kind of life outside of Mines and how your academics really prepare you well for your next step in your career. And then we annually accept about 28 students, and we receive usually close to 50 applications for this program.
So thank you so much, Kelly. So at this time, I'd like to invite my colleague and fellow team member, Jerry Brewer, our Assistant Director at the Pascal Center, to give some overview about the different scholarship communities that we have through the Pascal Center. Jerry?
Awesome. Thank you, Luis. And on the call, we, as Luis mentioned, introduced himself. We have our director, but we also have Aubrey Cray joining us, who is the coordinator in the Pascal Center, which is the Professional and Scholar Communities Applied Learning Center. And then we also have Dr. Colin Terry joining us, who is the Assistant VP for Student Life and supports our center. And so the scholarships that fall under the Pascal Center, you get an opportunity to work with all of us, or I should say we get an opportunity to work with all of you and support you throughout your time at Mines. So I will briefly, although it can feel like a lot of information, go through each of the 4 scholarships that we'll be representing today that you have the opportunity to apply for. But again, all this information will be found on our website. And today we also have a number of panelists from each scholarship community to really talk about and highlight their experiences. So next slide, please. And I also just want to mention, if you have just recently joined us, thank you so much for being here. Apologies if you had any technical difficulties. If you did miss the beginning, just know that we are recording this entire session and we will send it out to you so you'll be able to catch up. But you're here for the good part, and that is after I'm done speaking when you get to interact with the scholars. So first, to start off, we will mention the Harvey Scholar Program. And that is, we're going to kind of go in order of when the deadline is. So the deadline for this is next week, as Hema mentioned at the beginning, on January 22nd. So before I dive into some of the logistics and some of the community aspects, I want to introduce quickly our 3 panelists. So our panel, Harvey Scholars, if you wouldn't mind just saying your name, your major, and maybe hometown, that would be great. Eli, would you mind going first?
Yeah, of course. Hi, y'all. My name is Elijah Pays. I'm a junior here at Mines. I'm studying mechanical engineering with a focus in aerospace, and my hometown is Denver, Colorado.
Thanks so much.
Um,
And Kate?
Hello,
sorry.
I'm Kate. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I'm studying QBE or quantitative biosciences, so kind of our biology degree.
Thanks so much, Kate. And Warren.
Hey, my name is Warren. I'm a first year here. I'm a biochemistry student, and I'm from Greeley. So if you know where that is, shout out to you.
I went to grad school in Greeley, so there we go. Also, if you're just now joining us, we're going to be going through this information, but if you have some good questions, utilize that Q&A feature down at the bottom of your screen. We will wait a little bit till we're kind of done with the nuts and bolts of our presentation, but go ahead and start popping those questions into that Q&A section. So talking a little bit about the program tenets of the community for the Harvey Scholar Program. These are just a few of the highlights of being a part of the program. Our wonderful panelists are going to share a lot more, but they do participate in an annual retreat. They have regular meetings and events, including monthly luncheons with our donors, Hugh and Michelle Harvey. They're very, very engaged in the community. They're really, as you probably know, if you looked into the scholarship, really focused on paying it forward and giving back. So also engage in a lot of community service involvement. Harvey Scholars also have the opportunity to engage in global experiences. So we do offer enrichment grants to support study abroad, professional development, or community service experiences. And as I mentioned, our scholars can talk to you more about any and all of these things and more. And so a little bit of the logistical information for the Harvey Scholar Program. Again, the deadline is due January 22nd. So that is next Monday. So definitely be working on your applications. The award does cover full tuition and fees. Eligibility, it is for first year students only. So unfortunately, if you are a transfer student on this call, this wouldn't be a scholarship that you could apply for. Again, we're really interested in scholars who have an interest in service and philanthropy and that desire to pay it forward. So you will see the application questions reflect that. And you can find all of the application questions posted on our website as well. But obviously, if you're looking at the application, you will see them. And then we do the requirements for applying is obviously that general scholarship application that Hema mentioned at the beginning. Then you will get access to the Harvey Scholarship app. And then if your application moves along, we will invite you to interview at these various states posted here. So we do receive quite a few applications for the Harvey Scholar Program. On average, between the last 2 years, we received 856 scholarships. I mean, we do award 12 scholars a year. So I know those numbers can feel a little daunting, but I always want to emphasize that you definitely won't be awarded a scholarship or that you don't apply for. So don't let that discourage you. Apply, but definitely put some time and some thoughtfulness into your responses. If you have a counselor, a teacher, a mentor who can kind of help you through, giving you some guidance on responding to those, that could be a good resource to utilize as well. But another thing is that, that's part of the reason why we require the general scholarship application. So that way you're casting a wider net. And then same with all the scholarships on here. If you are eligible, then definitely apply. Take the time to apply for as many scholarships as you can. And then just so you know, the scholarships that are being presented today, we do not award multiple scholarships to the same student. So you could not receive a Harvey and a Vanguard scholarship or any other combination. But there are opportunities to receive other institutional scholarships or external scholarships. So that's consistent with all of them. All right, next scholarship and next slide, please. All right, next we will talk about the Grewcock Presidential Scholarship. The deadline is February 1st. So I'll quickly have my scholars introduce themselves. Katie, would you mind sharing your name, year, major, hometown?
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Blake. I'm a senior this year in mechanical engineering, and I'm from Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Thanks, Katie. Ethan, would you mind going next?
Absolutely. I'm Ethan. I'm a sophomore, majoring in mechanical engineering and a minor in engineering physics. And my hometown is Littleton, Colorado.
And Raina.
Hi everyone, my name is Reina. I'm a first year at Mines and I'm studying electrical engineering and I'm from Irvine, California.
I was like, did I accidentally recruit all in-state students? Love to have the representation, but I didn't notice that before. So thanks for being our out-of-stater as well, Raina. Wonderful. So a few program tenants quickly of the GRUCOC Presidential Scholar Community also participate in an annual retreat, regular meetings and events, many of which are planned and coordinated by our current scholars. Social events, professional development, and also service events and opportunities to engage with our donor, Bruce GRUCOC. And we also, the focus for the GRUCOC Presidential Scholar Community is leadership, as you'll see reflected in the application questions. So through that, we offer personalized coaching, skill building workshops, and we also host a number of guest speakers to really talk about their leadership journey and how they developed their leadership skills throughout their education and throughout their career. So lots of great networking opportunities as well. But also all of our scholars individually engage in their own leadership opportunity while at Mines, whether that be through a student organization or even through an external community-based organization. And they also engage in a lot of immersive experiences. So we do travel, usually after the second year. Currently, it's been domestic within the United States, but going to New York, DC, and this year going to Omaha, where the headquarters of QIT is. As I mentioned, we have world-renowned guest speakers coming and lots of networking opportunities. So our scholars will share a lot more about that. To reiterate, the deadline is February 1st, also covers full tuition and fees. It is for first-year students only, and we're looking for students who have a robust interest in leadership, intellectual curiosity, and a desire to contribute to the community. And the kind of requirements of this is that general scholarship application and then applying for the GRUCOC scholarship app. And then you would be invited to interview if your application moves on from there. Again, we have a high number of applications, on average 676, and we award 10 per year. But again, don't be intimidated by the numbers. Definitely encourage you to take some time and apply. Next slide, please. Okay, next we have our Bliss Endowed Scholarship. And unfortunately, one of our scholars was not able to make it, but we do have Hayden joining us today. Hayden, would you mind introducing yourself, name, year, major, hometown?
Yeah, my name's Hayden Barrett. I'm a first year studying mechanical engineering, and I'm from Windsor, Colorado.
Awesome. Thanks, Hayden. So Bliss scholars also engage in regular professional development, service, and social events. They also have preference to the first signature learning community, and that's a residential community that you can apply for. So there's a number of them. As you start to fill out those housing applications, you will get more information. And so you don't have to be a Bliss scholar to be in first, but you do have to be a first generation college student to be both in Bliss and in first. So this is just another great way to develop community and get to know other first gen students, as well as they have mentors who help support first gen students. So that's definitely a perk. And then we also offer peer-to-peer mentorship program, mentorship through the Bliss Scholarship. So as a first year student, you would be paired with an upper class student. And it's sometimes social, but definitely a way to, find out about campus resources, whether that be tutoring, advising, and just to get to know a student more personally. And then we also offer academic advising and coaching through the Pascal Center. So you have a little bit more time to apply for this scholarship. The deadline is March 14th. The annual award is $5,000. Eligibility, if you didn't catch it already, is only for first generation college students, but it is open to first year and transfer students. So a first generation college student, if your parent or guardian has not received their bachelor's degree, then you'd be classified as first generation college student. But we're also looking for students to have a commitment to community and supporting other first-generation students at Mines. And then the requirement, general scholarship application, and there is an additional Bliss scholarship app, although we don't require interviews for this. We receive about 78 applications per year, and we award 6 students per year. Next slide, please. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have our Starzer Service Scholarship. So Georgia, would you mind introducing yourself, name, year, major, and hometown?
Yeah, hi. I'm Georgia. I'm a junior. I'm doing mechanical engineering. And I'm from Littleton, Colorado.
Thanks, Georgia. And then we have Lucille. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm Lucille Brousseau. I'm a first year here, and I'm studying mechanical engineering with a minor in aerospace. And I am from Castle Rock, Colorado.
Thank you both. So the Starzer Service Scholarship, obviously we are focused on service, and so we do engage in regular group service projects, but we also support individual scholars for their philanthropic efforts. But part of that is also being servant leaders. And so through the leadership development, we host guest lectures. Our donors are also very involved, Mike and Patty Starzer. And so regular luncheons with them, and then skill building workshops, as well as social events. And so, as I mentioned, the deadline also for this scholarship is March 14th. The annual award is $5,000 to $10,000. The eligibility is for first year students only. Preference is given to Colorado residents, but we will review and have accepted students who are from outside of Colorado as well. So don't let that deter you. If you are from outside of Colorado, definitely still encourage you to apply. And then obviously genuine interest in servant leadership. Do require a specific Starzer application in addition to that general scholarship app, and then also an interview if your application moves through, which will be conducted in April. We receive about 400 applications per year and award 7 scholars per year. So with that, that is all of my talking. So again, I know it's a lot of information, so please refer to our website if you've missed any of this, or as I mentioned, this will be recorded, and so you can always go back and listen through this. But we want to ensure that we are answering all of the questions that you have. So as I mentioned, feel free to use that Q&A feature down at the bottom of your screen and pop in some questions. They can be for specific communities, that's okay. Or if you have more broad questions about being a scholar at Mines, would love to answer those. And then of course, if you have questions just about Mines and being a student at Mines, obviously all of our students are also, our scholars are also current students, so we'd be happy to ask those questions. But while you all are thinking through that, I have a couple of questions to get us started. So we'll kind of just start broad here, and I will select a few people from each community. So the question is, what is your favorite part about being a blank scholar? So let's start with the Harveys. Elijah, would you mind saying what is your favorite part about being a Harvey scholar?
Yeah, of course. I honestly think my favorite part of being a Harvey Scholar is just how involved Hugh and Michelle are with the scholarship. That's very rare. You don't see that a lot. And they're just super involved in almost every aspect of your life. They care about what you're doing in school, what your plans are for the future. They care about your travel aspirations just so much, and they're so personable. And I think that they have just helped me to feel supported and welcomed at Mines. So that is definitely my favorite part.
Awesome. Thanks, Elijah. Okay, same question. We'll go to Katie. What's your favorite part about being a Grue Cox scholar?
I think my favorite part has been the fact that there's like a super strong community on campus. And like I get to go to all these, normally we have meetings like at least like once every week or once every 2 weeks. And I get to go to all of the little events we have and see everyone in the scholarship community and catch up with everyone and see how they're doing. But but I also really love like the spread of events we have. We have like some more social events, and then we have some more professional development events, and it's fantastic. It's the highlight of my day every time I get to go to an event.
Thanks, Katie. Hayden, what would you say is your favorite part about the Bliss community?
For Bliss, it's unique because of the peer mentorship program that's set up within it. So I think that's probably my favorite part, along with the events that go along with it. Yeah, I love my peer mentor that I have, and he comes plays basketball with me sometimes, and he's just always there for me. So it's really nice to be in that community.
Thank you. Emma, what would you say about the Vanguard community?
The Vanguard community is really unique in the way that it is a larger community of females on campus. And whenever we have the opportunity for a social or any sort of gathering, it feels great to have that support and community come together, from freshmen to seniors and some graduates, and just feel the female community at Mines.
And Georgia, what about the Starzer community?
Yeah, for sure. I think my favorite part is probably the community as well. It's cool being with people who have like-minded interests and that desire to serve, and so it's pretty cool to, yeah, see and be able to get to know that community, and also just like work with them to do service and stuff. It's just pretty cool because, yeah, you get to know everyone, and we also are able to meet Mike and Patty and have dinner with them often, which is a very cool thing to be able to actually know your donors and all the people in the community. So
awesome. Thank you all. So if you haven't gotten this theme here, I think everybody mentioned some type of community and connection. And that's definitely what we hear consistently across all of our scholarship communities is, a lot of times the financial award does open up opportunities for students. But once they're here and involved within the scholarship program, one of their more highlights is being able to get to know other students, staff, and faculty across campus and really feeling that connection to Mines. So glad to hear that that's a consistent message among our panelists. So I'm seeing a few questions, and they might have been answered, but just want to make sure people aren't missing them. So there was a question about interviews. All of the interviews are hosted virtually. So no worries about traveling to Golden to interview. And then I did mention that scholarships won't be among these scholarships represented on this event tonight. We will not award 2 scholarships to one student, but definitely apply to all of the scholarships. So there's no rule against applying. Apply to every single one that you're eligible for. There may be times where you could be awarded, but you have to select which community that you would like to accept. And obviously the reason for that is that we want to provide as many opportunities for as many students as possible. So hopefully that helped to answer those questions there. Wonderful. Okay, so continue to put questions in the chat. I am seeing a few, but I'm gonna keep it kind of broad, and while you all are thinking through some questions, just answer another round. So the next question I have for you is kind of similar. What would you say you have learned as part of being a scholar? So let's go in reverse order, somewhat trying to keep track, but we'll start with Starzers. Lucille, as a first-year student, what would you say you have learned as being a part of the Starzer Scholarship community?
So being in the Starzer community is something I've learned. I mean, I've learned about a lot of the volunteer opportunities in Golden, and I've learned a lot about how I can get involved in campus, but also just being surrounded by upperclassmen has helped me learn about other resources on campus. So I've gotten a lot of advice about how to just be a student here at Mines, because it is a little challenging. It's not exactly an easy school. So I've been able to learn things I've been able to learn about the things I'm interested in with service, but I've also been able to get
Thanks, Lucille. You're breaking out a little bit at the end for me, but I think I got you. So, and I've already forgotten the order, but I'm gonna go to CeeLo next for Caldwell. What have you learned as being part of the Caldwell Scholar community?
So there's been quite a bit. I'm currently a junior, so I've had 3 years of interacting with the different communities with Vanguard and both Caldwell. And it's been really empowering, I think, to have those communities focused mainly on, women and empowering them and inspiring them to have their own voice and go out and achieve great things. I think it's been really great to also just learn from upperclassmen and also to help mentor some of the new freshmen and sophomores coming in. It's just built like a really great community of like asking questions on how to network, how you build resumes, how you get through classes, how to apply for grad school, anything and everything that you can think of.
Awesome. Love to hear that. Thank you. Okay, where are we going? Hayden, you're gonna get a lot of talking time because you're our only Bliss Scholar. So what would you say you have learned as part of being in the Bliss Scholar community?
Well, honestly, I'd say a lot of the same as the other scholars, just a lot of like career prep, being ready for school, just in the years to come and just the current year I'm in now. And then also like a lot of help with, as being a first generation student, I've seen a lot of help with balancing the financial aspects of college and kind of figuring out how to do some of those things that I haven't really had experience with in the past.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Definitely can have additional obstacles as a first generation college student. So glad that you found that support in the community. How about Ethan? What have you learned as being part of being a Groocock Scholar?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a common theme of learning from upperclassmen and getting that, but I think that's really important. I mean, you walk in with a group of however many, depending on what you're in, and instantly, you've got this higher up connection to how to navigate mines, and that helps them instantly. I even like the area mines is in. I hadn't been up here a lot beforehand, so I didn't know where anything was, and it was all daunting, but I had people who obviously had been here a while, and they were all able to show me a lot of spots and places to go and really cool opportunities, and jumping on those opportunities, I'd say, is also a really important part. Is not just a one and done. It's engaging with the community as well. That makes it the best part, is knowing you have that, and then taking advantage of that and staying connected with your peers and everything.
Awesome. Okay, finally, we'll go to Harvey's. How about Kate? What have you learned of being a Harvey Scholar?
I don't know if this really answers the question, but I think like the most that I've like taken away from the scholarship, or like, I don't know, like after like meeting upperclassmen and like being involved in all these different organizations and stuff, is just that there are so many resources at Mines. Like talking with upperclassmen and having the people within my group, like all of the Groococks and Harveys are in CSM 101 class the first year together. So I think it's just really good to go into school with a group. You're all like-minded and you're all really wanting to make the world a better place. And just learning a lot about the things you can do at Mines, and there's just so many resources available. And also, like you talked about, the Harvey Scholarship is really focused on the paying it forward mindset. So just I've learned a lot from Hugh and Michelle Harvey, our donors, about what it means to be like a good philanthropist and what you can do, not just like donating your money or time, but how you can actually make a change in causes that you care about.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you all. And I just wanted to take a second to expand a little bit on something Kate mentioned, was our CSM 101 course. So for prospective scholars who don't know, that is a first year seminar course that all of our incoming students take. So regardless of if you're in a scholarship community, and this is really to help you navigate being a college student and connect to resources, connect to staff and faculty. And with all of our scholar communities, and I think Kelly mentioned as well, that the Vanguards are all in, we also cohort all of our scholar communities. So some that are a little bit smaller, you'll be combined, as the Harvey and Groococks are together this year. So you'll get a chance to know other scholars, but then you'll really get to, again, community seems to be the theme here, increase those bonds. And then the cohorts are also taught by somebody in the Pascal Center or the faculty mentor for Vanguard and Caldwell. So you get to know us a little bit better too. So just kind of another perk of being a scholar. A few kind of notes here, and we have updates. Kelly wanted me to remind, or maybe state for the first time in case I was missed or misunderstood, that the Caldwell Scholarship does not include room and board. So just want to be clear for that scholarship community. And then I think there is a question in the Q&A about finding the scholarships in the portal. And I think Max, you were gonna maybe talk about that.
Sure, happy to jump in on that one real quick. The biggest thing to remember here, from what Hema might have mentioned, for those of you who were here in the beginning, if you weren't, that scholarship portal that you see available to you, before you can look at a lot of these different opportunities, you do need to make sure that you finish that general scholarship application first. It's going to be the one that's available to you basically right away. There's instructions on how to get to it in your applicant portal, and you'll be able to see these in the webinar recording tonight as well. But you got to finish that general scholarship application first. Then you'll be able to start to see some of those additional scholarship communities that we've talked about here tonight as well. Not everybody will necessarily see everything that's listed on the Pascal website or that we covered here tonight based on your eligibility and different criteria, but taking that first step and then seeing what additional ones open up after that, that financial aid and the Pascal Center will post, is a big part of it.
Cool, thanks, Max. Hopefully that helped answer the question. All right, so next we have a question from YouTube. So the question is, how have the panelists, so all of our scholars, experiences within the scholarship communities prepared you for the challenges that might arise after college, including aspects such as employment, life, and other pursuits? All right, so randomly picking here, let's go with GRUCOC first. So Katie, since you have been here, you're a senior and been here the longest, would you mind talking a little bit about how you feel the GRUCOC Scholar Community has kind of prepared you for what's coming next after college?
Yeah, absolutely. So our junior year in the GRUCOC Scholarship, we do this like assessment called the ESCIU assessment, and it's the emotional. Wow, I'm sorry, y'all. It's the emotional and social competency inventory assessment, but like undergraduate student edition. And so basically, what that is we take this assessment and we give it to like a couple other people who know us well in a professional setting, and they also take it, and it kind of like shows like our strengths and our weaknesses in different areas. And then we get to meet with a leadership coach one-on-one 3 times throughout the semester and go over those results and discuss like, okay, how can we work on this? Or like, how do you keep playing to your strengths in certain areas? And it really also just helps with kind of like more of like an emotional self-awareness of how you participate in group settings and how you function more as a leader. And I feel like that has substantially helped me for a senior year during like my senior design team. I'm our Scrum Master for senior design. And so like I'm in charge of kind of like making sure that our group stays on track and that we're like hitting our own deadlines that we're setting to try to stay on track for our project. And I think it's been really, really helpful because I'm in a team of, there's 13 of us, and trying to figure out how to get like the best work out of everybody has been a little bit challenging, and also like making sure that we're distributing work fairly while also still being able to reach our goals, and people have like different things that they're excited about doing or things that they don't want to do as much, and like figuring out how to balance all of that. I feel like that was a super helpful like way to learn about myself to prepare me for that step. And I think it's going to be very helpful in industry later on when I go work on teams for bigger projects.
That's great. Thanks so much. Okay, how about Elijah? Do you want to talk about how Harvey has prepared you for either things that you're working on kind of later into your Minds education, or maybe how you feel like it's going to help you be prepared for post-graduation?
Yeah, I think there's actually a couple of things within the Harvey community that have really prepared me just for my post college life. One being the professional development that we get to be a part of within the Pascal Center. They host various events throughout the semester that are kind of aimed towards developing you professionally and getting you ready for industry or whatever your post-college dreams are. So those are very helpful in their own sense, but also we have luncheons every month. And at these luncheons, we have guest speakers come in, and they can be, sometimes they're activists, sometimes they are talking about a company that they've started. We just had someone from the Peace Corps come in. So just various people would come in and just talk about what they do in their day-to-day life, and that kind of gets the scholars' brains jogging on what they want to do with their post-college careers. And lastly, I would say just being a part of a community like this of like-minded individuals also prepares you for the professional world. Just being able to communicate with them and work together and see each other every day and just practice being a college student together. So I think the Harvey community does that very well. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Elijah. How about Sela? Can you talk about same question for Caldwell, how it's helped prepare you?
Yep. So we've had a lot of different activities and events hosted for both Caldwell and Vanguard scholars. And we get to have, some luncheons and professional development kind of days where we sit together and we either, we've gone over resume building, professionalism, how to network, that kind of stuff. I've also had opportunities to talk with upperclassmen about graduate school, how to apply to that, how do I know what school I want to go to, and if I want to continue here at Mines for that, or if I want to go somewhere else, or possibly wait until I'm in industry and then find a company that might help me pay for that. So there's just been a lot of different opportunities of running ideas by each other, but then also having opportunities to sit down together and work on team building and just professional development so that when we do graduate, we'll have all of those skills already set and we'll be able to just kind of transition seamlessly into the workforce.
Thank you, Sela. How about let's go to Starzer, Georgia. Would you talk a little bit about how Starzer has prepared you for your education and maybe afterwards?
Yeah, for sure. I think one big thing has been working with a team of people trying to do our service project, because that obviously translates into a lot of things, especially in working. You need to be able to communicate with people that you've never met before, and be able to communicate what your goals are and be able to work together on that. And we've had a lot of guest speakers and lots of chances to develop our service projects, but that, like I said, applies to employment afterwards and just it's a general good life skill to be able to just clearly set a goal and be able to work towards it. And we've also had guest speakers who told us what it's like to continue doing service even as they're getting hired in working places. So we just get a lot of guest speakers and people sharing their experience, and also a lot of opportunity to practice all those skills that you need just by working on our service projects, which stands out to me.
Thank you, Georgia. All right, Hayden, I know you've just been here barely over a semester, but maybe you can think ahead, or maybe you've already had some experiences of how the Bliss Scholarship community has helped prepare you for your next 3 years at Mines, or even thinking further than that.
Yeah, so overall, the scholarship communities all provide a really easy way to get prepared for your career. But honestly, Mines does a really good job of getting you ready for after college already. So having just that extra help of the scholarship communities, like I remember before career days last fall, we did a little workshop to help our resumes, and that really helped us all out a lot. So just like those small things that really just go a long way. And then they also, I think the community aspect is more of the larger part than the professional aspect, at least for me, because that just strong community and that sense of belonging you get from the scholarship communities that you're in is just well worth like spending time with these people and going to these events.
That's great. Thank you. Yes, I will echo a little bit of what Hayden said and a few other people touched on as well, is that we really try to supplement what Minds already does for all of our scholar communities. So I would say, you know, a lot of our stats as far as positive outcomes upon graduation and starting salaries and number of internships awarded, and just overall, I think job satisfaction within their internships and careers is really reflective of the campus-wide support that Mind students are given, whether it's through you know, the info sessions with employers. Of course, we have 2 really, really large career days. I know we're like well over 300 employers that we have hosted, but a ton, whether it's interview skills, networking workshops, resume building, and things like that. So the Pascal Center in WISM really tries to supplement and enhance those programs as well. So, all right, a few other questions here in the chat that we can kind of answer quickly. So one question: if accepted into one of the scholarship communities, the student required to attend Minds after that? So for each scholarship, once you go through the full round, whether it's just the application or also the interview, we will ask you to give us a decision whether you accept or decline the scholarship. Those dates are before May 1st, because if you decide that you want, that you are going to attend another university, of course, we wish you all the best and understand that it's a personal decision, but we want to give the opportunity to award to another student. So we do ask that you give us a decision whether you accept or decline the scholarship before that date. And obviously the college decision deadline is May 1st, in which, of course, admissions will ask you to complete that enrollment decision form and pay the deposit as well. So that would be kind of the commitment, but we don't ask for any additional commitment on top of that, other than just the verbal, I accept the scholarship or no. And then, are the awards announced in April? Yes, so hopefully, sorry, I was jumping ahead in the question. So the question is, are the awards announced in April in time to decide the living community? This was on YouTube, so I'm not 100% sure if this is specifically talking about the first signature learning community for first generation college students that I mentioned. And again, the Bliss scholars are given preference into that community. Okay, cool. Thanks, Max confirms that is what it is about. So yes, essentially, then you will find out that you have been awarded the Bliss Scholarship and that you have been accepted into the first signature learning community. You can, of course, decide to accept or decline either one of those, so you don't have to be in the signature learning community to accept Bliss, but it is definitely an added perk. So, all right, so continue to throw those questions in the chat, in the Q&A, and I will continue to monitor the chat for any of our YouTube questions. But now I have a few more scholar specific, so we won't be answering largely, but it'll just kind of be for your individual community. So first, would love to hear from Raina about the Grew Cox Scholarship community. Again, I know that you're just over a semester here into Minds and part of the Grew Cox Scholarship community, but wondering if there's a specific workshop or speaker series or kind of anything that you would like to highlight as being one of your top moments or experiences as being a Grew Cox scholar.
Yeah, so what I am specifically thinking of are two things. The first one is how Grew Cox goes about teaching leadership and how you embody leadership. I think a really important thing I learned as a first year is that there's no one way to do leadership. You really work your strengths into it, and that's something that I've been using in my other work. Like for instance, I'm in undergrad research, so kind of being able to explore what my strong suits are and aren't has been very helpful within the work that I've been doing in undergrad research. And then on top of that, I just really like the sense of community that's in GRUCOC. I think especially as a first year, it really helped with me making friends and kind of having people that I can go to whenever I need help with something or just want to relax and unwind from school. So yeah.
Thanks, Raina. Okay, how about Warren? Can you, again, knowing a shorter amount of time here, but that's okay. I'm sure you've had a lot of enriching experiences. But would you mind talking a little bit about either how you have kind of paid it forward within the Minds community or the larger community, or how you hope to?
Well, like you said, it's a lot about paying it forward and kind of embodying that mentality. And one thing I learned is that paying it forward is a very broad spectrum. Doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. Like my pay it forward is I want to work in cancer research and kind of that sector, and hopefully give families that time with people like who are diagnosed with the cancer, like I was given with my cousin. So that's how I want to pay it forward. But a huge thing I learned about paying it forward through Harvey is that it's not always that big, like, hey, I want to do this in my career and do this specific thing. Sometimes like a mindset. Sometimes it's how you live your life day to day, the small things. So it's really shaped my perspective of pay it forward. And that's not just this big grandiose, hey, I'm going to career and help people this way. It's a day-to-day mentality kind of thing. So that's how it's really shaped my perspective on it.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to jump over to Emma and Vanguard. So how influential was being selected to join the Vanguard community in your decision to choose Minds? And we'll just talk a little bit about what your process was like when choosing Minds and being selected as a Vanguard scholar.
Vanguard was very influential in my decision to choose Minds, mainly from the financial aspect and being able to go out of state, and just because it was much more expensive than my in-state options. And so all of that was my main reason. When I did receive the scholarship, it was kind of a confirmation to me that I was going to be invited into a very welcoming community when I arrived to Minds. And so when I did make the decision to go to Minds, having Vanguard behind me before I even got there was crucial in my decision.
Awesome. Well, we're very glad to have you here, Emma. All right. Hayden, can you talk a little bit about, let's see, we've kind of talked about both of these, but would you just dive into a little bit, expand on maybe any like worries you had, or maybe even like struggles you had as a first generation college student, maybe how the Bliss Scholar community helped you feel more prepared?
Yeah, so a lot of the struggles I had being a first generation student was mainly just setting up college, if that makes sense, like through Minds, figuring out FAFSA and all those types of things. And fortunately for me, in the peer mentor program, our lead peer mentor for the Bliss scholarship community is actually part of, he does the scholarships and financial aid. He works in the financial aid office. So he knew a lot about those questions I had. So I asked him a lot of those things. So he really did provide a lot of guidance there, which was really like one of my main struggles was figuring out, oh, will this money count for this? Will this money count for that? And just figuring out how to allocate those funds. So I think that was really a huge help through my scholarship community.
That's great. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think as many can attest, unfortunately, college isn't just apply and be accepted and then you come in the fall. There are a lot of things in between there. So I'll just reiterate some of the things Hema said at the beginning in admissions. Definitely be sure to continue to check those checklists on your portal and check your email. But reach out as you have questions and helps. As you have questions and need help, because there is a lot to navigate, whether you're first generation or not. But utilize your resources, and there's lots of people here at Minds who are ready and willing to help you. So, last question for now until we maybe move to the chat. So continue to put that in there. Will be for Lucille with the Starzer Scholarship. So, what kind of, being somewhat new and you had just gone through the application process, why is serving important to you, and how do you hope to make an impact on the Minds community or the surrounding community?
So serving is important to me because when I was going through high school, I ended up having a lot of just general challenges. I hated school when I was in high school, and I just didn't have any support. And so I took a very active role in my community when I was still in my high school to try to support the people around me in ways that I wasn't supported. So I kind of take a give it forward mindset of, I know what it's like to not have support, and I know what it's like to struggle, and I want to help people who are going through the same things that I went through, because I don't think anybody should have to go through that. And if someone is, then they deserve support. And what I'm trying to do at Minds is I'm working with one of the Starzer groups on like a tutoring program, but what I might end up kind of switching to in a semester or two is working with some of the other freshman Starzers on implementing some mental health at Minds. That's what I particularly struggle with, even this semester, or last semester, fall semester. Being in a new environment, it's kind of difficult, and the classes are really hard, and it's a big transition. So between struggling in high school and struggling in fall semester, some of the Starzers have decided that we want to try to do something and try to work with Minds to have more mental health outreach for students. But there's a lot of work in progress. Starzer gives a lot of those opportunities, but that's my plan. That's what I'm hoping to do.
Yeah, wonderful. I guess this is another plug to continue to utilize resources. So not just in enrolling in college, but definitely once you're here too. So yeah, we do have great counseling services available for all of our students, but definitely peers can help out a lot, and academic advising and coaching, tutoring. So whether it's, academic, mental, emotional, physical, we have lots of resources to help support our students. So, all right. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up here with a question again for all of our scholars. But we do have a couple of minutes. So if you have a burning question that you have been waiting to ask, please go ahead and put it in the Q&A, or if you're on YouTube, in the chat, and we will definitely get to it. Just going to allow every scholar to answer this. Feel free to share, but keep in mind we have a large panel, so keep it succinct. But the question is just kind of, what advice would you give to an incoming or prospective student applying for your scholarship and or applying to Minds? So let's start. We will just go down the list here. I have you first, Sela. Would you mind starting us off?
Yep. So applying for the Florence Scholarship, I think mainly just, think about how it's mainly, geared towards women at Minds and how that's impacted, just because we are such a small group on campus and we have such a small ratio. Definitely just kind of, when you are applying to this scholarship, think about how you want to take an active role being on campus and kind of being a leader for both your community and also for prospective students once you become an upperclassman. Definitely just think about kind of what role you want to play on campus, kind of being in this minority and helping out other people that might be struggling with being in the lower minority on campus.
Thank you. Yeah, small but growing every year, right? Emma, what advice would you give?
I would give the advice to that it's okay to take your time, especially your first year and first semester, just getting acclimated to everything. And it is such a big change. I think it's very exciting to be here with all of the new opportunities and new clubs and new groups, but to really find that balance, especially your first semester, first year of what your schoolwork is going to be, if you want a job, and what clubs you want to do, and that it's okay to constantly be figuring that out.
Good advice. Thank you. Okay, Reina, what advice would you give for applying for GRUCOC or applying to Mines?
As far as applying to GRUCOC, I think I would think about what leadership means to you, even if it's not leadership in the traditional sense, just how you want to embody that within your time at Mines, and kind of just what you want to accomplish while you're at Mines. And then as for my advice for being an incoming student at Mines, I'll keep it short, but just don't close yourself off from people. It's very easy to shut yourself out. Just get out there, make friends, talk to people.
Great advice we could all use. Ethan, what would you say?
Yeah, I'd say for both GRUCOC and applying to Mines, be transparent about yourself as possible. I mean, you know, not everything you like has to be engineering related, you know, telling us what we want to hear. It's everyone has different interests, and the interest you've kept up to this point, try and keep them, you know. Try not losing yourself is an amazing thing, especially through Mines, and keeping your interests and keeping the hobbies that keep you going. You know, really help your mental state when you're going through it. Plus, it really helps your application too. We love to hear the variance in talent and ingenuity and curiosity. So it's a really great thing. Just remember not to lose it.
Yeah, love that advice. It's great if you want to continue to expand on your STEM interests, but we know that you have so many interests besides that. So we know you're already interested in STEM. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be applying to Mines. So if you want to talk about band or being outdoors or anything that really interests crocheting, we love to hear that stuff. So great advice. Love that. Katie, what do you have?
I would say specifically for applying to the GRUCOC scholarship, GRUCOC is a leadership development scholarship, and that doesn't mean that you have to have all the answers right now. That doesn't mean that you have to know exactly what leadership is supposed to be about. And I could say, like, over the past 4 years, like, my personal definition of leadership and how it showed up throughout my life has drastically changed due to the leadership development training that we get to go through. So it's okay to not know everything, but it's, you know, it'd be cool to see like excitement about how you want to grow, or like why you're excited to be able to like participate in the community and learn from your peers and stuff like that. And then, sorry, what was the second part of that question one more time?
Oh, it's okay. I mean, yeah, so either applying to GRUCOC or applying to Mines, or just first year advice.
First year advice.
Mhm.
I would say for first year advice, really like kind of just get involved in the community, because like in whatever way that interests you, like join clubs or you know, schedule like little like dorm floor movie viewings or something like that. Do take the time outside of school to get involved and meet people and make friends, because that's so important. And like, I don't know, it's not like I'm ever going to remember looking back if I like did homework or if I like chose to go out and spend time. Like when I choose to go out and spend time with my friends, those are the things, those are memories I'm going to hold on to. So definitely keep some balance in your life, like what Ethan was saying.
Totally. Yep, definitely. Okay, Georgia, what advice would you give for applying for STARS or Mines?
Yeah, first thing would be apply, like actually do it. I almost didn't apply because I was so worried I didn't have like any of the qualifications to both the scholarship and to Mines. Obviously, that would be a big mistake. So there's nothing to lose by applying. I'd also say just be yourself when you're applying to these things, especially with the starters. If you have a heart for service, it's going to show through. So you don't need to pretend to have it all together. Just share your experience, you know, and if service is something that you're passionate about, again, it's gonna show through. So just be yourself on those applications and stuff. And then kind of with both of those, I'd say just get a lot of confidence. You guys are obviously smart if you're applying and making it in, and if you're interested in Mines, so just have that confidence and know if you do end up here at Mines, just keep that confidence through your first year because you made it in. And I think it just helps a lot, makes things a lot easier when you are just yourself and just trust that you're where you're supposed to be. So
yeah, love that. And I think a good point to mention of all of our scholarship communities is that people sometimes are deterred because they think they already need to have this like vast resume of service experience to apply to STARSR, or all of these leadership experiences to apply to GRUCOC, et cetera, throughout all of these scholarships. We're not really looking for the experience because we know that you have spent a lot of time being a student and maybe working, which can also fall into so many different categories of great experiences to talk about. But we just know you have a lot of other commitments. So don't think the experience is what we're looking for. It's more of that passion and that interest that you're going to bring to the community and bring to Mines. So keep that in mind for all of the scholarships. Lucille, would you add anything to the STARSR application advice?
Well, Georgia said pretty much everything I was going to say, but just to emphasize, really be yourself. Like, these applications, at least as far as I know, are going to be at least kind of reviewed by other students who are in STARSR. So it's like we're reading it and we're just looking for heart. We're looking for a dedication to service and a want to serve your community. And again, kind of what Georgia said, like if you're in Mines, you deserve to be here. And being on campus, it's really easy to get really bad imposter syndrome and God, everybody's so much smarter than me, so I even deserve to be here. And it's really important to remember that you do. You deserve to be here and you're just as smart as everyone else. Even if you're going through a hard time, like there's always a way to get out of it. There's always more resources you can turn to if you're struggling, and there's always people here to support you. So if you're here, you deserve to be here. And when applying to STARSR, just be yourself. We love to see the heart.
Yep. Have confidence for sure. Love that. And Hayden had to run to a class. So, but you know, as someone who also reviews your Bliss scholarships, I would kind of just echo everything that everybody said is be authentic. We're not looking for a scripted answer. You know, with that scholarship community, we are looking for people who have that desire to help support other students. So that community theme that we have brought up, someone who can talk about that, whether you have experiences just being on a team and helping support other people, that's great. If you haven't had those opportunities, how you want to be involved in those ways. So that would be the advice I'd give for the Bliss Scholarship. But with that, I know we're wrapping up time here and I don't see any other questions in the Q&A or in the chat. But I do know we do have one reminder from Max, who I'm going to go to. Kate, did I totally miss all of the Harveys? Is that why you're raising your
Okay,
hand?
I just wanted to say something that I don't think I heard other people say. Specifically for the Harvey application, or this could apply to other applications too. But I think just if you can, it's easier said than done. Be vulnerable and like share your story. We really value that in your application. And then obviously be yourself and be confident. But
thank you. And thank you so much for raising your hand. I'm sorry. I'm like, have like 6 screens up right now and I'm just on my teeny tiny little laptop. So things are overlapping. I don't mean to miss all of our Harveys. So yes, please, I want to give time to Warren and Elijah, advice you have to apply for Harveys. Warren, let's go with you next.
Building off what Kate said, be confident. Like a lot of it, because I just went through this application cycle last year. It's stressful, it's hard. Just be confident, be yourself, really show that passion for paying it forward. just really show yourself and you should be good. And it's a tough process, but believe in yourself. I'd give that.
Okay. Elijah, anything you would add? Advice for applying to Harvey?
Yeah, I want to echo what Warren said earlier. I think that my best piece of advice for applying to the Harvey Scholarship is don't be hard stuck on one definition of paying it forward. This can really mean a whole variety of things. And we want to know what it means to you. We want you to reflect on how you've paid it forward in the past, how you pay it forward in the present, and how you want to pay it forward in the future. So just don't be stuck on that one definition of paying it forward is like the classic, oh, like someone paid for my food in the drive-thru, I'm going to pay for the person behind me. Like it can be so many different things. And then for my advice for Mines, I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. I know because Mines is so competitive and it's just such an interesting community to be a part of. It's very sometimes daunting to ask for help because you don't want to seem like you're behind. But ask for help. Like we all want to help you. I haven't had one experience at Mines where someone has turned down me asking for help. And so it's very important that you do that because a lot of times, a lot of people will have the same questions as you and they don't want to ask that question. So if you ask it, you're helping a lot of people out too. So that's my advice.
Great advice from all and on both fronts. And yeah, I think something I would say is that you'll hear when you're like applying for internships or jobs is that you really need to customize your resume, your cover letter to the job. So I think in like kind of what expanding on what Elijah said about, be authentic and be yourself. That's what I would say as you're applying for scholarships is not to do this copy and paste. And I know again, you all are busy and you're probably applying for many schools and many scholarships, but as much as you can is taking the time to really be thoughtful about your responses. It's easy to see when students are more thoughtful or when it's kind of a candid response that could apply to many different scholarship applications. So, okay, I just want to make sure, did I miss anybody? Please raise your hand if I did. Wonderful. Not a lot from me other than, yeah, thank you for being here. Congratulations again on being accepted. Good luck with your college search and decision process. And with applying for scholarships. Please remember to reach out to us if you have any questions. We'd even be happy to get you in contact with a current scholar if it's something more just about their experience or they want to give more advice. They're very willing. So with that, yes, another big thank you to all of our panelists who are volunteering their evening amongst all of the other obligations they have. But with that, I will just say thank you from the Pascal Center, but we'll leave time if Jen or Louise has anything to add.
I just want to quickly add, if you do have any questions for the Pascal Center team, you can reach us at pascal@mines.edu. Similarly, I believe for WISEM, the email address, Kelly, please correct me if I'm wrong, is it wisem@mines.edu, or do you have a different email that you would like to be reached out to for questions?
That email works great.
Fantastic. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. We hope this was informative. We hope to hear more from you soon. We're hoping to read all of your applications. And again, reach out if you have any questions. Have a good night.